Shams just doubled down on this ridiculous rumor that just doesn't seem to go away. The Dallas Mavericks have just concluded their NBA draft, and just around the corner, we have free agency. The Dallas Mavericks have Cooper Flagg. The Dallas Mavericks have Anthony Davis. We have Kyrie Irving on the way. We have a very, very deep team that is prepared to compete now and in the future. But for whatever reason, there are just stupid, dumb, ridiculous rumors that just keep popping up even after the fact they have all been addressed. But we finally got confirmation from Shams himself regarding Jason Kidd and whether or not he wants to be a head coach for New York. So in this video, we're going to take a look at all the information surrounding Jason Kidd. What are his ties to New York? Does he actually want to go there? And what was it that Shams said that just put it all to rest? But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 21,266 subscribers, getting very close to our goal of 22K. But if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related all summer long with rumors, free agency, trades, summer league, preseason, everything, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But the Dallas Mavericks have a lot going for them going forward. We have Cooper Flagg, we have Anthony Davis, Najee Marshall still here. We just re-signed both Kyrie Irving and Daniel Gafford on very team-friendly deals. With everything considered, everything's looking very good for the Dallas Mavericks. Everything is on the up and up. We are staying positive, things are looking good, and we're getting ready for the next season. But of course, it's not the offseason if it isn't for just ridiculous rumors that have already been addressed, but continue to pop up. And the rumor that we're obviously talking about is about Jason Kidd wanting to go coach for New York. And if you know the history of Jason Kidd, he has had ties to New York. I mean, he left the Dallas Mavericks and spent his last season in New York, as well as before he became the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd was a finalist for the head coaching job in New York until they ultimately went with Coach Thibodeau, whom they did fire after losing in the Eastern Conference Finals. And following that firing, we did get news about the New York Knicks on who they wanted, and Jason Kidd was name dropped. And if we just briefly go over the history of the Knicks and Jason Kidd as of recently, the report that came out saying the Knicks are expected to show interest in Ime Udoka and Jason Kidd, while Johnny Bryant and Jay Wright are considered presumed candidates. When it comes to available coaches, longtime Villanova coach Jay Wright, who has long expressed a reluctance to make the leap to the NBA, and Cleveland Cavaliers assistant Johnny Bryant quickly emerged as presumed likely candidates. Two head coaches who are not currently available but said to interest the Knicks, according to the league sources, are Dallas' Jason Kidd and Houston's Ime Udoka. And if you were living under a rock, the New York Knicks have literally gone after every single coach that they couldn't actually get, which actually resulted in a few coaches getting extensions just to be sure that New York doesn't try to pilfer them. And on this channel, we talked about the Dallas Mavericks assistant coaching situation where Sean Sweeney is the assistant head coach of the San Antonio Spurs. We do know that the Orlando Magic have a lot of interest in Shammgod, as well as the Cleveland Cavaliers do have interest in Jared Dudley. It's very odd that a lot of our assistant coaches are leaving, but if they're going for a better position, who am I to stop or criticize anybody for progressing in their career? But Jason Kidd is on a contract. He signed it last season during the playoffs for 3 years. He's about to enter the second year of the contract. So maybe this is all a play for a contract extension. But if we go over more reports, following the report that said that the Dallas Mavericks are declining any meeting with Jason Kidd and the Knicks, we got this. There is still a possibility that Jason Kidd could join the Knicks per Ian Begley, saying the door is not completely closed on the Knicks and Jason Kidd per people familiar with the dynamic in Dallas. Other outlets reported as recently as last week that Kidd was still a possibility, and that remains the case as of Monday. And it's a lot of weird conflicting information, and I really do hate revisiting all of this, but I'm glad it's being put to rest. But we will never hear from Jason Kidd unless they just outright ask him in an interview or a press conference of, hey, do you want to go play in New York? Or, do you want to coach in New York? You already played there. Do you want to go back and be a coach? You were almost a coach before you came to Dallas. And even on draft night, some reporters were asking Cooper Flagg, do you know anything about Jason Kidd and whether or not he's going to stay? And Cooper Flagg gave a very good answer as far as, I'm not talking to Jason Kidd about where he wants to coach other than what he's going to do with me in Dallas. It was a very good answer, and it was very dumb of a reporter to ask Cooper Flagg that. But if we continue with the whole just chain of events, like I said, it was last May where we got the news that Dallas Mavericks announced a contract extension with head coach Jason Kidd. But also, if we take a look back further, like I said, back in 2020 in July, it was reported that Jason Kidd is a front runner for the Knicks coaching job per S Bondi NYDN. But they did go with Coach Thibodeau, which they did have their own level of success. But if it wasn't for the Knicks choosing to go with Thibodeau, we wouldn't have had Jason Kidd. We wouldn't have had the wonderful, wonderful last 4 or 5 years with him that we've had. And memorable quotes like, no one's dying out there, or I'm just watching the game like everybody else. Jason Kidd isn't necessarily the best person when it comes to addressing the media. He says a lot of very just off-the-cuff things that don't sound like they make any sense at all. Saying how, yeah, the team looks like a brand new team. We did a full 360. You mean a 180, Jason Kidd? I know that you're a coach and not a math professor, but come on now. But that's why we love Jason Kidd. You know, the fact that he sometimes will never call a timeout when you need one. Or if he'll put Dwight Powell or Maxi Kleber or insert this player here for far too long. No coach is perfect. Jason Kidd is far from, but for the level of success that we've seen with Jason Kidd, 2 Western Conference Finals appearances, a Finals appearance, he's been a good coach for us. Can you find better? Sure. But I'm going to stick with the coach that I know and the coach that's been working so far. It really isn't as bad as we think. But if we take a look here, Jason Kidd is going nowhere per Shams. Lock it, sign it, book it, it's done. We don't need to talk about this anymore. If Shams says it, it's obviously the gospel truth. There have been many people that try to argue with Shams on his reportings as being not true, and those same people have been called out and proven to be liars. So if Shams says that Jason Kidd is going nowhere, Jason Kidd is going nowhere. Now, if anything, yeah, there may be a contract extension. He's on his 2nd year of his 3-year deal. So sure, yeah, we could talk about a contract extension, especially since we have Cooper Flagg. You want to stay longer, we can work it out. And any rumblings around Jason Kidd being interested in New York could have just all been a ploy to get a contract extension. And if you're asking me, Jason Kidd, you don't need to threaten to go to New York to get a contract extension. Just have a conversation with us. It's not that hard. I'm sure Nico Harrison doesn't bite, and if you ever heard Nico Harrison talk, I'm sure he's never raised his voice ever in his life. But if we take a look right here, not only did Shams confirm it, but also Nico Harrison after the first day of the draft. Nico Harrison on Jason Kidd saying, are those rumors still out there about J. Kidd? A reporter said, apparently. Nico said, oh, okay. I thought I shut them down. Yes, he will be the coach next year. So if you don't trust Nico Harrison, which I understand a lot of you guys watching probably don't, but you know you do trust Shams, just put 2 and 2 together. Jason Kidd will be the head coach next year. He'll be the head coach for the foreseeable future. As far as the assistants, we'll deal with that when we get there. Find good replacements. We already have a few good guys coming in, but Jason Kidd will be the coach, and it's very important because of Cooper Flagg. And we take a look at what Jason Kidd and Cooper Flagg have said about each other. Tim McMahon on Cooper Flagg and his visit with the Dallas Mavericks, saying, I'm told Jason Kidd sees shades of another Duke guy in Cooper Flagg, a guy who J. Kidd shared the Rookie of the Year award with, Grant Hill. Cooper Flagg is really going to have a chance, especially early in the season when Kyrie Irving's out, to play a point forward type of game. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot, and J. Kidd thinks he can facilitate. And we've talked about that as well on this channel, where Jason Kidd loves to experiment with lineups. We've talked about how Jason Kidd wants to see Cooper Flagg at the 2. Cooper Flagg and PJ playing in the same lineup. And we just heard it right there. Cooper Flagg playing point forward like Ben Simmons, but with a jump shot that we can trust. I'm all for it. I don't want to put too much on Cooper Flagg, but Cooper Flagg said it himself. If you're the biggest guy in the gym, go find a bigger gym. And that's what Cooper Flagg's doing. So let's give him not too much, but just enough on his plate so he can grow from it. But Jason Kidd, if he's already having these conversations and these thoughts about Cooper Flagg, then yeah, he's not thinking about going anywhere. But the last quote that we are going to take a look at is right here. Cooper Flagg on his conversation with Jason Kidd, saying, I think he has a lot of confidence in me to just come in and be an impact player. He's going to let me have the ball a little, I think, and just try to rock out and do what I can do. And one of the many things that I've said about Cooper Flagg is his 2 favorite words, winning and impact, because he knows what it takes to win. He plays the right way. And obviously the conversations between him and Jason Kidd have not been just surface level, like, oh, welcome to Dallas. You're going to be a small forward, maybe a starter, maybe come off the bench. You're number 32. Here's your locker. Good luck. No, they're having deeper conversations about how he can fit within the team. How does he fit with what we're doing in our schemes and our vision? And as we all know, Jason Kidd will experiment with the lineup very heavily to start the season, and I'm sure he's getting Cooper Flagg prepared for that. But we have a lot more to cover on this channel. Let's put it all to rest. Jason Kidd's our head coach, and let's just move forward. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you even want Jason Kidd as our head coach, or is there a head coach somewhere out there that you'd rather have? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We can have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far to the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. And as always, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.